All right, so last week we learned about Indian corn and how to create the texture of the Indian corn or the holiday corn by using ovals and circles really close together. And they're kind of in these rows because we use those lines to help us guide us to put our ovals and circles in a row. Today you're going to use watercolor paint to paint these in. You'll have a smaller brush, and to make the corn stand out, we're only going to use warm colors. So reminding us how to use warm colors, we're going to tickle the paint with our brush, and you can paint in kind of randomly with one color. Sometimes I like to use one color with, like if I have it drawn with a yellow, I'll use a red inside of it. When you're finished with that color, give it a tickle, rinse it out, and then you'll switch to a different warm color. So I'm just going to use my warm colors first. Sometimes I even go over one of my other colors I've already used. That kind of creates an interesting design, or not an interesting design, more of an interesting color. So I'm coloring, or I'm painting inside of my kernels. I'm using my paintbrush, just the tip of it. If I need a little more water, I'll get some more water. And it's starting to look really interesting. When I'm finished with my kernels, I'm going to do a little bit of yellow just because I really like to see what this looks like. My yellow, I'm going to do a few kernels yellow. The warm colors just really stand out. Maybe I'll paint a little bit on top of my orange. That looks interesting too. Sometimes I like to have some just orange, sometimes I like to have some just yellow. All right, when you're finished, rinse out your brush. If there's any places that you notice there's a little white space, just get those so we don't have any of our corn with any white space. We want it all to be warm colors. And then when you've got the corn all done, you're going to do the outside or the space around your corn with the cool colors. Cool colors also look beautiful when you mix them together, but they make the corn and they make anything else just really stand out. When I have cool colors next to warm colors, the cool colors kind of say, oh, that's all right, you can go first. And they take a step back. Now I love mixing my cool colors. So when I'm using my watercolor, I'm going to kind of go on top and overlap some of my cool colors a little bit. And that looks like a really interesting color when I do that. And then when I need to rinse out my brush, I just give it a little bath. There's a few different shades of blue and purple, and use a different color just for the outside. Now if you notice, I've turned my corn sideways. It's easier for me to paint when I turn it sideways like that. And then when you're completely finished, the whole thing should be painted in, and you will have you'll raise your hand.